Kristi Gordon joins us now with more on all that rain and the risk. Kristi.
Sophie, this rain is not going to come to an end until later in the day tomorrow. So in the meantime, we still have heavy rain at times expected all across the south coast. But Environment and Climate Change Canada this afternoon elevated the risk level through northeast Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley and up to an orange warning. And here's the reason why. While we're going to continue to see periods of heavy rain at times all across the south coast, there will be significant rain, particularly tomorrow morning across that region. So by midday tomorrow, that area could see anywhere from 50 to 100 millimeters of rain. And this is on top of what we've seen already throughout the last few days. And so the ground is incredibly saturated. So it brings in that greater chance of certainly pooling water on the roads, high rivers, but that risk of flooding and risk of washouts and landslides. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Kristi. All right, let's get more weather now with meteorologist Kristi Gordon. And we didn't plan this, by the way. It's just Red Blazer Day, apparently, on Global.
That's right. Sophie gets ready a little bit before me, and I didn't see you, I guess, afterwards. So that happens, but mine's a little darker. There's a little bit of a difference. Sophie, this is the atmospheric river that is in its 5th day, and it will finally move out in day 6. It is sort of weakening as it moves across right now, but it is still very potent in terms of what it will bring through parts of the region. We talked about this earlier in terms of the warning. The key is that elevated risk for northeast Metro Vancouver through the Fraser Valley in terms of the potential for some low-lying flooding and as well as washouts or landslides. But I wanted to highlight the fact that we also have yellow warnings in place for the mountain passes. Significant rain expected overnight through the day tomorrow across those regions. And that's the case for the Columbia and the Kootenay regions as well, under a yellow warning for rainfall. And then we also have the Chilcotin region under a snowfall warning. And that's an indication that we're starting to see a slightly cooler air mass shift in. Tonight, we'll see the freezing levels drop in that region, bringing in that potential for snowfall. And we'll continue to see the freezing level drop on Friday. Skiers and snowboarders are excited to hear that because, of course, that means more snow, but it is important that you know that by the weekend, we have the potential for snow on the mountain passes once again. This is stopping it tomorrow morning to show you that heavier rain across the Fraser Valley region through the Coquihalla, Allison Pass area as well. In the afternoon, conditions ease up, but it's still very spotty along the mountains, and that's the case in the Columbia and Kootenay region as well. So you'll still see rain at times. Saturday, brighter skies, but still a chance of flurries across the interior regions and the mountain passes. And that's why I was mentioning that for the mountain passes, because everyone has been used to rainfall as of late if you're traveling, but that is going to change this weekend. So in the meantime, tonight, we are going to see heavy rain. We'll see it through the morning hours tomorrow. We may see some breaks of blue sky in Metro Vancouver tomorrow afternoon, but we likely won't through the Fraser Valley. It's not until Saturday that all areas will see it. Sophie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Kristi. This is Kristi Gordon. And Kristi, earlier in the week, you had warned that slides were a risk. So when will this weather start to improve?
Well, Sophie, it will finally start to move out of the region tomorrow. That will be day 6 of this extended period of rainfall. Through the next 18 to 20 hours, though, we still are expecting heavy rain at times right across the south coast. But Environment and Climate Change Canada has elevated the risk level for northeast Metro Vancouver through the Fraser Valley. And here's the reason why. Although all areas will see rain at times, that area will receive the majority of the rainfall, particularly overnight and especially tomorrow morning. 50 to 100 millimeters is possible by noon tomorrow. And so that increases that risk level for the following. Certainly pooling water on the roads and high rivers, but particularly an enhanced risk of flooding, enhanced risk of washouts and landslides. It will be tomorrow afternoon, though, Sophie, that we'll finally start to see conditions ease off. And in the meantime, we still have several more hours of this heavy rain. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Kristi. All right, let's bring in meteorologist Kristi Gordon now with a look at our weather forecast. Yes, spring is almost here, Kristi.
That's right. And you know, honestly, it's been feeling like spring in parts of the interior BC over the last several days as temperatures have been in the high teens and into 20s. We are going to see a bit of a change, though, finally across the south coast as this atmospheric river starts to push out finally on day 6 tomorrow. This has been a relentless atmospheric river that just hasn't budged. So we talked about these warnings earlier with this area, northeast Metro Vancouver through the Fraser Valley, receiving the majority of the moisture over the next 8 18 to 20 hours. We're talking about 50 to 100 millimeters of rain, and there is still concern for elevated risk of washouts, flooding, or landslides. And then we also have a number of areas under a yellow warning, and that includes the mountain passes. If you're traveling, we're expecting heavy rain on those mountain passes, and so pooling water on the roads, it's important that you slow down. Also, warnings in place for the Columbia and the Kootenay region with heavy rain expected there tonight and into tomorrow morning, and snowfall warnings for the Chilcotin. And that gives you that idea that we're starting to see a cooler air mass shift in from the north. So freezing levels are going to begin to come down tomorrow as well. So here's a look at the plan. So we are going to see periods of rain heavy at times, particularly through the Fraser Valley early tomorrow morning through the morning hours. There's the snowfall there, and then we'll shift it later in the day, and that's when conditions lighten up. We may even see some breaks of blue sky across the south coast, but we'll continue with rain at times changing over to snow for the mountain passes. So that's a really key thing because it is spring break, Sophie. A lot of people have been enjoying the fact that it's just rainfall on the mountain passes, but that's going to change over this weekend back to snowfall. So everyone needs to be aware for travels. It's good news though for the mountains, which is great. Any of the skiers and snowboarders out there. All right, so rainfall tonight, tomorrow morning, Sophie. Hopefully some breaks of blue sky later tomorrow as we officially change over to spring tomorrow. Now here's a look at tonight's Cloverdale Paint weather window, which is coming to you from Clinton, BC. Amanda Nelson capturing this beautiful sky as the sun was setting. Thanks so much to Amanda for that one. Okay, Sophie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Kristi.
Well, I didn't get the red jacket memo today.
You don't check your emails.
I just don't check it enough, you're right.
He never answers emails.
Do you actually have a red jacket?
I have kind of a burgundy wine. It wouldn't look very red.
Wear it tomorrow.
But then you guys, what are you guys going to wear? What are you
I
going to wear
have a
tomorrow?
burgundy wine colored jacket.
Sure,
you,
I could
Kristi?
do that too.
Okay, let's do it.
Yes.
This is fun. We're coordinating.
All right, quick word on weather before we go.
It's going to be wet right through tomorrow morning. Hopefully some breaks though in the afternoon.
All right, good night all.